Hello, book lovers. I'm Peg, and I love book prizes. And I'm going to tell you about one that's coming up this week that arguably is my favorite of the year. I've always said that beach reading, people talk about beach reading. My idea of beach reading is mysteries and suspense and things like that. And this is a wonderful time to do it because the Dagger International Prizes are coming out this week. Now, these are sponsored by the Mystery Writers Association, an international organization, and publishers are allowed to put in. They have 11 different categories. Don't worry, I won't go through all of them with you, but I am putting a link to the PDF that tells all the books that are up for the different awards. Some of you might be interested enough to glance through those. So I'm going to just talk about the first three on the left column on this when you do it up. So actually, the big spiel on this is that they are the literary crime. It's the best prize for literary crime novels, and some of them are. They touch on being literary fiction, certainly more than the run-of-the-mill mysteries that you see. So I just love these, and it gives me lots of summer reading, as I said, my version of beach reading. So I'm going to go over them a little bit with you. Actually, the reason I'm doing it now is on Thursday, July 1st, they're going to be giving the awards, and it's done virtually. So I'm also giving you a link where you can get tickets to watch it, free tickets on I think it's on Zoom, but I'm looking forward to watching it now that I've picked out my favorites in each group. So let me just go through a few of the books with you, and you can let me know if you've read them or read any of the others. The actual real best award is what's first, called the Golden Dagger Award. That's really the best novel. And I haven't read them all, but I am picking out Nikki French's new one, The House of Correction. I can only get the large print at the dictionary, at the library. I don't really need that yet, but it was pretty easy to read. Anyway, Nikki French has written many suspense novels and others novels. Actually, Nikki French is a pseudonym of a married couple, Nikki Gerard and Sean French, if you didn't know that. So that's how we get Nikki French. Okay, House of Correction has to do with a young woman who, I guess, has a blackout and is put in prison for a crime that she, I guess a murder, that she doesn't know if she committed or not, and spends the time proving from prison, finding out what really happened. Okay, so that's that category. Who knows what'll win? Okay, in the next category, which is the Ian Fleming Steel Dagger. Now, I'm not sure what the difference is, but this is not as famous and not as much money as the Gold Dagger. Anyway, but my pick for that, I haven't read all of them, is The Devil and the Dark Water by Stuart Turton. He's written the 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle. Some of you may have read that a few years ago. Okay, this deals with a shipboard story. It's in the 1600s, and the most famous detective in the world, what do they call him? Sam Phipps, is on a boat, on a ship, going to Amsterdam to be hanged for a murder that he may or may not have committed, and he has his bodyguard, and there's a woman involved on board. I love on board mysteries. Somebody there has to have done it. Anyway, so that's what I'm picking to win that. But that one has a lot of good ones in it. Okay, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on the what they call the John Creasy New Blood Dagger, and that is actually the oh, come on, here we go. All right, that is debuts, new mystery authors. and they're kind of hard to get hold of. The Dagger organization has changed the time of when they're eligible or something, so that more of them could be published, will be out so people can read them when they're up for awards. And most of them are, except for these new ones, new debuts. Some of them I could only get by ebook or even just a picture of. But I'll go through them quickly. Sounds like there's some good ones here. Okay, they mentioned that it's Nordic noir. If you like noir, this first one is actually a translation, even though it's a debut for her. The Creek on the Stairs. I'll let you read the artist's name, the author's name. I will say the translator, Victoria Cribb, has translated several literary type books. So she's got herself a great translator in this. And this one deals with a investigating officer, woman who moves, it's in Iceland, moves back to her small town that she grew up in. I'm not sure what happened in Reykjavik, but start anew in her old town that she grew up on. And it has to do with a body being found at the lighthouse. And also the author of this, what was going to say, I think no, never mind. She didn't translate her own. I told you who translated it. I'm getting confused with another one. This is the only actually translation in this category. I guess they just put it there because I think it might win. It looks really good. And it won the Icelandic Mystery of the Year. So, okay, next we have City of Ghosts by Ben Creed. This one I could not get a copy of anywhere, even from, well, I have one on order for Book Depository, but who knows when it'll get here. So I just kind of had to find out. This takes place in Leningrad, and it says Under the Shadow of War, so I guess it's in the 1940s. And it's the start of a series, so that will be fun to read. Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting a copy of that. Okay, the next one, The One That Got Away, is another boat story. Evidently, a newlywed woman goes on a cruise with her new husband, and he turns into a horrible person, and they're stuck on this cruise. So she finally gets home and gets away safely, and then somebody murders him, and of course everybody thinks it's her. So that ought to be pretty good. Okay, and The Bone Jar. This is my pick. I hope this one wins. It's got lots of atmosphere. It takes place in an old, dilapidated asylum. Now, how many mysteries start like that? The idea of an old asylum is wonderful. And there's always mysteries still left there. And sure enough, they find a body there. I mean, not one left over from when the place was open, but there's many mysteries they're able to trace down from that. And it brought up the term urban explorer, which the author of this is. And I've thought about, I'd like to be, it's people that go into old buildings that have quite a history behind them and are not in use. Usually they're locked up. It's probably illegal to get in, but there is something wonderfully mysterious about old buildings that were active at one time and trying to figure out what was where and what all went on there. I think I'd like to be an urban explorer in my next life. Okay, the next one, you can see that it's historical. Fortune Favors the Dead by Stephen Spotswood. Okay, this is a story about a young woman, though she appears to be a man. I just thought of her name and I forgot it. Willow or something. So, anyway, but they call her Will, and she runs away from a circus. And in the circus, she was a knife throwing professional. And she meets a woman who has a detective operation going on and saves her life somehow with her knife ability and is able to get a job and with her, and they become partners in this detective agency. And again, this is the start of a series, and I'm anxious to try it. I think it sounds like it'd be pretty good. Okay, and the last one, 3/5, again, couldn't get a hold of it, but it has to do with a black American man who is biracial, actually, they use that term there, and passes as white for most of his life. There's another book about that up for the Women's Award. It's two sisters. Anyway, this guy does. And it comes down to a point in his life where he has to tell the truth to morally do the right thing to come out as a black person, and has a lot of, I think, philosophy about that and thoughts he goes through. I wouldn't be surprised if this won, since it's very timely. Okay, that's it. There's several others you can look through. I also put the link where you can get tickets to watch it on Zoom if you're interested. And I'll be watching Thursday night, and I may be back to talk about some of them. Okay, let me know if you've read any of them or have any favorites. Bye.